The case of the cooling corpse. The coroner's office is kept at a cool 17 Celsius. Agent 008 keeps pacing back and forth, trying to keep warm as he awaits for any new information about his latest case. For more than 3 hours now, Dr. Deadman has been performing an autopsy on the side road slasher's latest victim, and Agent 008 can see that the temperature of the room and the deafening silence are beginning to irritate even Dr. Deadman. The slasher has been creating more work than Dr. Deadman cares to investigate. Dr. Deadman, don't you need to take a break? You've been examining this body for hours. Even if there were any clues, you probably wouldn't see them at this point. I don't know. I have this feeling something is not quite right. Somehow the slasher slipped up with this one and left a clue. We just have to find it. Well, I have to check in with headquarters. Do you mind if I step out for a couple of hours? No, that's fine. Maybe I'll have something by the time you return. Sure, someone always wants to be the hero and solve everything himself. The doctor just does not realize how big this case really is. The slasher has left a trail of dead bodies through 5 states. Agent 008 left, closing the door quietly. As he walks down the hall, he can hear the doctor's voice describing the victim's gruesome appearance into the tape recorder fade away. The hallway from the coroner's office to the elevator is long and dark, but this was the only way to Dr. Deadman's office. Doesn't this frighten most people? Well, it doesn't seem to bother old Ajax Baraxo. There he is mopping the floor. 008 shakes his head in wonder as he passes Ajax Baraxo mopping. Agent 008 stopped briefly to use the restroom and bumped into one of the deputy coroners, who asked, "Deadman, still at it?" "Sure is, Dr. Quincy. He's totally obsessed. He's certain there is a clue." As usual, when leaving the courthouse, 008 has to sign out. 008 goes to sign out, where he encounters Sergeant Faust. "How's it going down there, Agent 008? Faust spends most of his shifts monitoring the front door, forcing all visitors to sign in. While he records his time next to the signature, Agent 008 wonders if Faust longs for a more exciting aspect of law enforcement.
If I were doing Faust's job, I would get a little stir-crazy sitting behind a desk most of the day. Why would someone become a cop to do this? Dr. Deadman is convinced he will find something soon. We'll see. 008, to himself, looking at his watch. It's already 10 minutes before 2. Will I make it back to headquarters before Chief leaves? Well, good luck. 008 heads out the door. Later in the afternoon, when Agent 008 returns to the courthouse, sighing deeply. Would the secret guest please sign in? For a moment, Agent 008 sees a positive point to having anyone who comes in or out of the courthouse sign in. He knows by quickly scanning the list that Dr. Deadman has not left. In fact, the old guy must still be working on the case. As he approaches the coroner's office, he has a strange feeling that something is wrong. He cannot hear or see Dr. Deadman. When he opens the door, the sight inside stops him in his tracks. Evidently, Dr. Deadman is now the newest victim of the slasher. But wait, the other body, the one the doctor had been working on, is gone. Immediately, the security desk with its annoying sign-in sheet comes to mind. Yes, there are lots of names on that list, but if he could determine the time of Dr. Deadman's death, he might be able to scan the roster for the murderer. Quickly, he grabs a thermometer to measure the doctor's body temperature. He turns around and hits the security buzzer. The bells are deafening. He knows the building will be sealed off instantly and security will be there within seconds. Oh no, how could this happen? I spoke to the doctor less than an hour ago. As the security officers crowd the room, Agent 008 explains what he knows, which is almost nothing. He had stopped long enough to check the doctor's body temperature. 008, looking at the thermometer. 27 Celsius. That's 10 degrees below normal. Then 008 remembers. The tape recorder. Dr. Deadman had been taping his observations. That is standard procedure. They begin looking everywhere. The slasher must have realized the doctor had been taping and had taken his tape recorder as well. Sometime later. The thermometer is still in Dr. Deadman's side. Exactly an hour has passed during the search, and the thermometer clearly reads 24 degrees Celsius. Now I can determine the time of death.
At 1:30, Agent 008 enters the coroner's office, hoping that Dr. Deadman might have some new information about the side road slasher's latest victim. At 1:50, leaving for headquarters, Agent 008 chats with Ajax Baraxo and Dr. Quincy before saying a quick word to Sergeant Faust on his way out, writing his initials next to the time. At 5:05, signing in once more, Agent 008 returns from headquarters, reflecting on what was found about the calculator. Walking to the coroner's office, he realizes that something seems off. Entering, 008 finds Dr. Deadman dead. The agent hits the security buzzer as he grabs the thermometer and checks the doctor's body temperature, 27 Celsius. Faust claims he spoke to the doctor an hour ago. At 6:05, Agent 008 and the security officer spend the next hour looking for clues that the killer may have left behind, more specifically the doctor's tape recorder used for observations. He notices the thermometer was still left in the doctor's side, and then checks the temperature again, reading 24 Celsius. Perhaps using this data and the sign-in sheet, Agent 008 can identify the killer. The suspects based on Agent 008's observations and Faust's statement. The first assumed suspects are Pierce Bronson, Max Sharp, Marin Izaki, Caroline Kress, and Millie Osborne. All were present around the estimated time of death. In our graph, we have the temperature versus time. Keep in mind that the room was 17 Celsius, and that is the coldest the body could get. In our equation, we have Y for a given temperature of the body's surroundings, A for the relative temperature of the body compared to its surroundings, B for the sharpness of the slope that the temperature travels along. X is our time, and K is the asymptote, which is the coldest temperature the body could get. To solve, we will begin using the points from our graph. For our first point, we have 0,27, and our second point, 1,24, and K equals 17. The reason K equals 17 is because the coroner's office is kept at a cool 17 Celsius. Then we will use the points we found and solve for X, using 37 Celsius, our body temperature when it was still alive, for Y. This means that Dr. Deadman was killed 1 hour and 56 minutes ago. Dr. Deadman was killed at 3:09. None of our previous suspects were there at the time. In fact, no one was there that had signed in, except for Faust. Faust had motive and timing. He works at the office all day, and even Agent 008 noted that he too would go crazy if he sat behind a desk all day.